Maybe the battery
just
just
on the
went.
side with the clamp that like holds it together is covering it up.
Oh.
Just the power button and the cord button.
Oh, okay.
You're recording now, though.
All right, I'm on the air. Okay, welcome. Just Google CK-12 once. I think what's going to be most useful, obviously, in the limited amount of time we have, I just gave you a high-fly overview. Kind of like the description said, you know, CK-12 is the easiest way to put it. It's interactive textbook. It's more than that. The reason I was navigated towards it is because I was at a school where we didn't have a book. When I got here, there was a book somewhere, was the answer I got, and then I found it, and it was kind of a wreck because they're old. With this, it's primarily for math and science, but they are growing all the time. Sorry. Their platform, and I just wanted to show you some of the things that are available. So math and science is pretty heavy. They are growing more and more these non-math and science areas. So this literally changes every other time I look at it to involve some of these other topics. As far as, okay, what the heck do I do with it? I'll kind of take you through my journey of how I've used it. You can use it for any topic that you have in mind that you're trying to get across in your class and you want students to read about. And let's say I want to find a topic. I can search it this way. I can also do a number of different things, but just if you're on CK-12 right now, are you guys all there?
Yep.
I have to peek at what your screen looks like because it's been so long since perfect. You can search right now for any topic you're teaching and just see what pops up. I'll kind of walk you through what I might do, just on what I'm about to cover, and I'll just type in osmosis. Great. Okay, you're going to get like 5,000 hits on whatever you typed in. Right? I got 166 results. I got a couple different ways I can filter that out. I also got about 5 different ways I can get to the same thing. Okay? One of the ways is concepts are kind of, well, they're big overarching concepts. They're going to have primarily all my information there. Okay? I can see this is going to have me read. It's got something called a Plix, which is an interactive. There's videos, there's activities, there's study aids. So I could go right here. Being an old teacher, here's what I did. I'm more of a textbook guy. So I've built what's called my library. Okay? My library has all those things I might be interested in and I want to come back to later. Their term for their books that they've created are called flex books. So that's where I started when I was just trying to get the hang of all this. I have a biology textbook. I have a biology workbook. I have a biology test and quiz book, just like a regular old book would have. You'd have your student version, your teacher version, and your test version. So I can go into any of these and start pulling stuff out of here. Well, let me show you the student end of stuff. So this is one of the biology books I'll draw from. And you don't have to do this. You don't have to find the books because I already showed you can find the concepts. But because I'm kind of a textbook guy, this made the most sense to me because I can open any biology book without looking at the table of contents and figure out where stuff should probably be. All right, for example, in my class right now, we're on cell stuff, so I can go here, and I'm going to get a list of what's in here. Okay, great. So I can go and I can jump into, let's say I'm just starting a new unit on cells, and I see that this article is going to be something I want to do an activity with, or I want to have students read, and so I'm going to minimize it so you can see my toolbars. I have the ability then to assign this particular activity to my students. And I got to pause for a second because it almost acts like I'm logged out. Okay, here's my assign button. Okay, so I can assign that to a class. Because I'm hooked up with Google Classroom, I've already linked my two accounts to Classroom and CK-12. It also, and I just wanted to show you.
So they don't ever have to log into CK-12 and create their own account?
They do, and I'll show you that in a second. CK-12 plays with all this stuff. I don't even know what most of these are. Yes, I know what Apple is. Yes, I know what Android is. I know what Windows is, but I don't really know what Canvas is. I only slightly kind of know Edmodo. Obviously, I know what Chrome is in Classroom, but it plays with all these things. I will say, too, it plays really nice on the kids' phones. It kind of like all apps, it goes, and now it's pretty good. In some cases, it's almost better than their Chromebooks. So your question was what? Repeat that.
Do they have to create their own account?
Sure, and let's have you do that now. So you guys are all on a screen that looks somewhat like, not that, 500 tabs open. You're all on a screen that looks something like this. Up in the top, you have a join. You're already signed in. Look at you. Yeah, look at you. You're one of those. So hit join. You can sign in with your googly. Do this, though. If you ever have students join a class or sign up, make sure they choose student. It's not because they're going to have all the answers in the world if they're a teacher, but you have to actually send in an email to get them back reverted. We learned that this semester. Student accidentally hit teacher, and we had to send in an email. They won't see your assignments is why it's a problem. So do students need to be signed in? The answer is no. Can I still use this without creating a class? The answer is yes. The reason I like it as whether or not I use the actual technology that's in the website is because, as you saw, I can go to any topic I can think of, and you guys please Google away or search away while you're listening to me, but I can go to that and I can assign that through either platform. There are pros and cons to doing both, but I'm going to give my instructions. Read, take notes. Okay, great. Choose my platform. This year, when I came here, I decided that I was going to have classes in CK-12, and the reason is there's a little bit more reports I can run on it versus Classroom. It's more of a, hey, do this. It's more of an announcement. They simply can mark done. It doesn't know if they did it or not. They can fake their way through it. So here I can set my due date. I can set my all my information, what classes, etc. When students log in, and this is something that I've had to say, okay, you have a new CK-12 assignment. They'll log in. For example, here's my 5th hour. And their screen will look very similar to this. Students will have an assignment tab. And this is something that you have to teach them. You have to walk through it. You have to go very slow. They'll have an assignment tab. They'll also have, if I use it, shared resources. This might be a study guide I can push out to them. Might be some flashcards I push out to them. Might be something else I can push out. Typically, I'll do that through Classroom, though. Also, there's an area students ask questions. I've never had anybody do this, but it's there for them. And then my tab, which is pretty important, are the reports that I can run. So on the reports, there's a number of different levels I can go. One easy, quick level is, let's play who did their homework last night. Okay, so the blue indicates they did it. Blank means they haven't done it yet. So you can see that there are some people that are on it, some people that aren't, some people that apparently don't like it or are confused. I can dig deeper into this, say, all right, what's going on with this person? And I can dive in and get an individual assessment on all their assignments. I can see the when, the how, the what. That's useful. But then I can also, and the student also has access to this, see how they're doing. Because they are adaptive quizzes in nature. And they do kind of show you where they might be struggling. So I can see this person spent a total of 4 minutes. Okay, that tells me right away they kind of know what they're doing. They got their 10. They met their goal because that was the goal for the assignment. And as far as how they did, 5 out of 7 easy. It didn't throw any mediums at them because it saw she was doing well with this, so it started throwing harder and harder ones at her, and she got 5 out of 7 of those. The student can go back and review their answers. It'll tag anything she did bad on. And this is something, again, you kind of have to tell the student this is available. And it will tell them, hey, you're not doing so good with this question. There's also another area that will show them where they can go to get that information better. Okay. Another way to run that report is this. This is what I'll pull up when I'm doing my grade book. This is a little clock that shows all those people turn that in late, so that's something I can keep track of if need be. I can also export that as a spreadsheet if I want to. I don't, but I can if I want to. I talk too much. Questions?
So these are tests made by the site, or
They are.
made by them?
They are. And here's the danger, and I've found this out and continue to find it out. When I push out a quiz, and let's see if I can show you here. Let's say, all right, intro to cells. Awesome. I like it. Looks good. I read through it. And, of course, this one doesn't have a quiz, so let me get to one that does. When I go to give out a quiz, none of these have quizzes apparently. Probably because it's right in the middle of the chapter. Go to resources. Okay, well, we don't need to sit and watch me surf the internet. You don't need to watch me sit here and surf, but the answer is when I push out the quiz, it's kind of their pre-made quiz, but I do have the ability to, let's say that it requires 10 questions. I have the ability to go in and edit that and select from, let's say, 40 questions. There are occasionally questions, just like anything else, where kind of like the old test generators, it's not really fair questions. Like, for example, plural versus singular, it'll mark it wrong because it doesn't know that you know the concept, you just spelled it wrong, for example. It's got fill in the blank. Yeah, it's got fill in the blank. So just like a Google form quiz, if you have a fill in the blank and they spell it wrong, it's going to mark it wrong. So I'm finding that more and more to be the case where I have to go through and edit that quiz. I'm trying to get away from the fill in the blanks and do just more of the multiple choice just so they can quick hit that concept. What was I going to say? You have the ability to set how many questions you want them to get right. You have the ability to set how many attempts you want. You have the ability to set time limits. I have not used them for summative purposes, but I'm playing around with it to get good enough where that's eventually where I want to go as a summative on a reading assignment. The interactives are nice. The videos are nice. Any article, and the reason I like it is because some kids don't like to read. Well, great. There's graphics. Many of them have multiple videos. And they're all videos that are linked to things like YouTube and the example of Khan Academy here. So they're all pretty decent videos. The graphics are stunning. I wanted to mention too, you guys don't feel intimidated that you got to use this, I got to sign up and I got to create classes, because before I started creating classes or even assigning it one-to-one, I was at a school we didn't have one-to-one, I can copy and paste this into a doc, print it. I can copy and paste it into a doc. All the links come through Active. So I can give that to them in a doc without ever going to CK-12 and having them fill out that way. The math teachers last hour were playing around with it, and they found it very useful for quizzes. I'll jump back to my library and show you that just like any other, like I said, any other hard copy of a book, you've got your teacher manual. Well, here's a workbook. Here's quizzes and tests. This is another place I can grab quiz questions if I want to build my own from scratch, and I'm not that creative because I'm not. I can grab them from here and kind of pick and choose. Here's worksheet. I can, if I wanted to, I can hit print right here, or I can edit it by just simply copying it and pasting it. One other thing, I know I'm rapid fire here. This is a tool that at other schools I've been at where literacy is more of an issue. And I don't know if students are making use of this, but they have the ability to annotate right on there. I can highlight, choose my color, add my note. Okay, Mr. Bailey said this in class. I can add whatever to it. And it's just another tool where students can use it because they're logged in. It's saved to their account if they want to come back to it later. Questions? Kind of feel I'm going in circles.
I know, that's why I think just to be able to explore and look around in there.
And I'll tell you what, I've been using this for like, I don't know, 2 or 3 years now, and there's so much there. Even after I assign an article, I'll bump into another version of the same article, and it's like, oh, that would have been a better article. Because like this one was biology article, there's probably 7 different versions of the same thing out there. One more cool feature for our hang on, I gotta get back to a normal tab. For our non-English speaking students, if I can bring it up an assignment quick, a lot of clicking. And again, I stop down anytime, guys. It's not a big deal. I walk you through this. For our non-English speaking students, down here at the bottom, I can select any language. I can go to any of these. If I could go to Spanish, I would. How do I do that? Anybody see Espanol? I do not. Why do I not see Espanol? Huh? Hindu, Estonia? Oh, I think it's because, there we go. I always forget. It doesn't play nice when I zoom in. Spanish. And from what I am told, because I speak what? No Spanish, but Leticia is telling me it comes over perfect. Her words, not mine, because I couldn't tell if it does or not. So if we all play fortune teller, my guess, you see who's backing that translation, Google. My guess is Google is rolling out a new translator in the near future. That would just be my guess, and this is one of the test pilots they're using, because if this is coming over flawless, and that means there's some code out there that's doing that, because I've heard from many Spanish teachers translator is terrible. But if this is coming over perfect, then how does it do that? Magic? I doubt it. So, definitely magic. So, a lot. I don't feel in 30 minutes really I can do much except tell you it's there. But if you need an article,
Are there games and stuff like this? One of my
there is.
special ed teachers said I've got some very needy students.
Yep. So there are some games. Let me take it out of Spanish. I'm going to be screwed up tomorrow. But yeah, I had a Miguel. You know Miguel? Is his name Perez? Perez? I think it's Perez. I had him where he just literally arrived from Mexico, and we found that translation. He used it. He's like, oh, great. He like sat down. He's like, perfect. And then he went from this to like, it was astounding. It was a great job. Thanks. So, to answer your question, they do have quote-unquote games. They call them Plix. And I just assigned this one today. I literally, on my prep, was like, you know what? And I found this as I was somewhat getting ready for you guys. Plix they're interactive. I will say a lot of them are pretty hokey, pretty easy, but that's kind of the point. Okay, they're dragging molecules. All right, I got to see which one goes through the cell membrane. This one? Nope. This one? Oh, that one goes through. Okay. How about this one? Nope. How about this one? Oh, that goes through, et cetera, et cetera. And then they challenge me, so they're all similar. You're moving something, and then you're answering some questions. Well, if I assign this, the expectation is they interact with it, answer the questions. If they don't spend time with it, they're not going to get the questions right. I can see that on the report. It's a real quick hit that I can get to show that they've dealt with it. There's another version of a Flexbook. Remember, that's their name for their interactive textbook. It's Flexbook 2.0. or I can assign multiple things in a package. So, hey, read this, do this, and then answer this quiz question. I can build them all together. I'm still getting more comfortable with that. I can't say I fully understand it yet. So, I like it. It's a thing. But like I say, for you guys that are just starting out, I used to just highlight, print the article out, and just do it that way. Pretty low tech. Question? If nothing else, just